I call this meeting to order at 2:34 p.m. on March 3rd, 2024. Do I hear any motions at this time?
I motion to postpone all legislation submitted before 2:16 at noon, indefinitely by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion to postpone.
Point of information.
Yes.
Could you repeat that one more time?
To postpone legislation submitted before 2:16. It's things we've already reviewed and debated on. I think we should probably get.
You mean everything that was tabled?
Yeah.
Well,
or no.
that's not what your motion
Oh,
indicated.
Sorry.
But also, I will say that I believe you have to make a block before you can make that motion.
Okay.
You cannot just do that as an overarching thing.
Okay.
Point of information. For
Yes.
postponing indefinitely, does the same thing, if you fail it, you can't resubmit something similar apply?
So you can't resubmit it in the same cycle, but because the cycle ends at this meeting, the next cycle, anything we do to a bill, it can be resubmitted.
Okay.
So even if we fail something, anything that has been failed, postponed, tabled during this legislative cycle can be resubmitted in the next cycle.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good to know.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this 1001 through. Is it 1223 or 23?
Aren't there a few resolutions in there?
And vetoed the bills.
Because those only require one reading.
Yeah, there's two. Yeah, there's three. Drew. What was the one?
Yes.
It might just be easier if you made a motion to create a block of all code revisions submitted before that time and then postpone those indefinitely. Because it sounds like you want to kill the bills that require 2 readings, which understandable. There's only 1 meeting left. That just allows like the remaining resolutions to be considered.
What about the
Yeah,
vetoed
okay.
bills?
What?
The vetoed bills.
Just for someone, I don't know if you know this, Raj.
Yeah.
Vetoed bills, are we required to get to those, like right now?
For vetoed bills, they would, like, in theory, if judicial reviewed them today, they could go into 3rd readings and be overturned on Tuesday. Are you required to?
Because these will hold over. So like even if they
Based on
didn't.
precedents, they would hold over to the next
Yes.
cycle.
Okay.
But that's determined by like the Senate president, so like, I don't know who the next Senate president is. So
Okay.
As
Well,
long as that interpretation holds.
I believe, like, for Judiciary Committee, that these will hold over. They will not be removed from the dock the next meeting because they were not submitted in this legislative. Well, even if they were submitted in this legislative cycle, they passed. So they're no longer under the same criteria for that. Do I hear any motions?
I move to create a block of bills SSB 2024-1001 to SSB 2024-1223 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to create a block of bills, SSB 1001 to 1223, by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Can you be more specific on what you mean by bills? Because I want to make sure that you mean, are you talking legislation or code revisions? Because
Legislation.
okay, so I'm going to have you remake that motion because they are substantially different motions.
Okay.
Because okay.
Alright, I move to create a block of all legislation numbered SSB 2024-1001 to SSB 2024-1223 by unanimous consent.
Okay, there has been a motion to create a block of legislation, SSB 2024-1001 to 2024-1223 by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any more motions?
I move to postpone the aforementioned block by unanimous consent. Postpone indefinitely the aforementioned block by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to postpone the aforementioned block of bills, SSB 2024-1001 to 1223, indefinitely by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Okay.
We make the same motion by roll call vote.
All right. That same motion has been made by roll call vote. Will the clerk please call roll?
Brian?
Yes.
Sorry. Rubai?
Could you put me last so
Yeah,
that,
sorry.
yeah. That's,
Henley,
Yes.
Bedine,
Yes.
Inswasti,
No.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rubai.
as my vote will not affect the outcome, I abstain from this vote. All right, are there any more motions at this time?
I move to consider SSB 2024-1225 by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion to consider SSB 2024-1225 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for consideration of SSB 2024-1225.
As the author, I'll present. I'll keep it like super short. I know we just have a lot of stuff. Basically, it's just engineering advising is pretty bad. Most of our advisors have no expertise in the field that they're advising on, and there's very limited advising. So, Matt, Senator Danish, and I have put together this resolution. Yeah, that way the rest of my time.
All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A beginning now.
Is it mainly just like increasing the number of advisors?
Just asking for, it's just asking for more knowledgeable, specialized advisors, and ideally more advisors. But obviously, it's a resolution, doesn't really do anything. But that would be the hope.
Okay.
So this is by departmental, you mean by major?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Civil advising,
Got it.
electoral advising, stuff like that.
Makes sense. All right, is there any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate beginning now.
I think this should pass.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, is there any more debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege.
I would.
All right, that's been waived. We are now in line for a vote. Are there
move-
any motions?
I move to amend the bill to add Minority Party Leader Nathaniel Pelton to the sponsors line by Judiciary Vice Chair.
Just Senator Aaron
Senator
Rubai.
Aaron Rubai by Minority Party Leader Nathaniel Pelton, Senator Aaron Rubai, Senator L.J. Bryan, Senator Gabriel Prieto, Senator Leah Henley,
And Alvarez.
Senator Ana Alvarez by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion made to amend the sponsors line of SSB 2024-1225 to include the aforementioned names. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any more motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB. Wait.
Okay, I move to pass SSB 2024-1225 by unanimous consent.
All right, so a motion to pass SSB 2024-1225 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that bill passes. Resolution
Did you
passes.
get all those people I added?
Mm-hmm. Everyone here, and just Anna and Belton.
All right. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1226. I will point out that this is a codes revision.
So I move to postpone indefinitely. Table.
Either or.
I move to table SSB 2024-1226 by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion to, sorry. Because we're in consideration, there's 5 minutes presentation waived, Q&A waived, now in line 5 minutes of debate. Is there any debate? Seeing none. Is there debate?
No, just a question. If it's tabled, it doesn't roll over to the next legislative
Doesn't
cycle.
matter.
Nothing rolls over.
Nothing rolls over. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the end of the cycle.
So then I have a question, and not related to this one, but then what
That's
was
fine.
the point of postponing indefinitely if it wasn't going to roll over anyway?
Well, it does essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a choice of words. I'm not sure
Okay.
there's any substantive difference in what happens to the bills.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but okay. Seeing as there's no more debate, we're now in line. The final privilege is waived. Are there any motions at this time?
Move to table SSB 2024-1226 by unanimous consent.
So a motion to table SSB 2024-1226 by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. SSB 2024-1226 has been tabled. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1227. Seeing as the author is not present, we're moving straight into 5 minutes of debate, starting now.
So, I think that this should be passed. Every other position in Senate does have, or we have vacancies for them. I don't see why the parliamentarian doesn't, and alongside that, they can just apply again for it. Yeah.
Do rules and procedures need one or is it 2 readings?
One.
Just one.
It is a 2/3 threshold, though, so it's different from a resolution on the floor.
Okay. So as it stands now, the position isn't vacated upon each validation of elections. It stays the same
It-
for 2 semesters.
It stays the same as long as the parliamentarian remains in office, so there is no term limit.
Oh, okay.
Fredo could be here forever.
Yeah, no, let's pass this.
You probably wouldn't leave, to be honest.
All right.
He wants to go to law school.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, we are now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to pass SSB 2024-1227 by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1227 by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2024-1227 has been passed. We are now in line for SSB 2024-1228, the Expediency of Democracy Act, and I will speak on this. Let me start my own timer. We're now in line for 5 minutes of presentation. Okay. So basically, what this bill does, what this rules and procedures revision does, is it creates a time limit for goodbye speeches. And personally, I have seen several instances where goodbye speeches are used to filibuster the validation of election results. I think that overall, that is a really, really bad idea. I don't understand why. This is one of the only instances in which senators can speak for as long as they wish. There was speeches over 2 hours at the past validation, and it took a really, really long time, preventing senators from writing legislation that would positively affect the student body. So I think there absolutely, absolutely has to be a time limit on goodbye speeches, and I think 15 minutes is appropriate for that. I waive the rest of my time. We are now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we are now in line for 5 minutes of debate.
I personally disagree in the sense that senators dedicate a lot of hours, a lot of days, and a lot of time to their positions and in their terms, and oftentimes they have a lot to say because they've put a lot into this chamber, and it's a time for them to reflect but also share final things that they have to say. And I think 15 minutes is way too short, personally. I understand where you're coming from in the sense that nobody wants to be sitting around for 2 hours listening to a goodbye speech, but at the same time, that is their right to give that speech, and it is, we can't really restrict speech. I think it contradicts the First Amendment, but I think 15 minutes is too short. If we could amend that to maybe a little bit longer.
I just think, look at Blake Cox's goodbye speech last fall. Blake was in the Senate for 2 years. He did a ton of stuff in Senate, Senate exec for a long time. And he gave, a 12, 10, maybe 15-minute goodbye speech. He did more in the chamber than any other person who's giving a goodbye speech. And he just spoke concisely, got to the point of what he wanted to get to, and it flew through it.
Yeah, but I think that should be the
Whereas
senator's
we had
choice.
other senators who gave 2-hour goodbye speeches where they were just looking at the room, pointing at people and being like, you, that's something. I met you one time. Do we need that? Personally, I disagree. And in terms of restricting the First Amendment, it's not like we're not allowing them to say certain things, we're just limiting the time, which public comment is a 5-minute limit. We're not restricting for First Amendment rights by doing that. It's just if everyone could talk on public comment as long as they want, we'd never have a Senate meeting.
I'm just saying it should be the senator's choice if they want to make it concise and short, or they exhaust the time, which would be 15 minutes or 10 minutes. But I'm just saying that I think 15 minutes is too short. We should at least 30 minutes. That's what I believe personally.
30 minutes, 2 people is an hour long of speaking. I'm
not saying they have to take the whole 30 minutes, but giving them that option.
I understand, but the option also allows for the possibility of filibuster, which is what this is trying to get rid of. I understand your point.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I've thought about for the time frame. The primary reason for this is so that senators can give goodbye speeches relevant to what they did in the chamber, what they want others to learn from, and just future points. It's not to thanking people is fine, but reciting random things or singling people out for 2 hours is ridiculous. It prevents the function of democracy, quite frankly. And I understand 30 minutes might sound more reasonable, but as soon as we do that, then the senators aren't getting confirmed for several meetings. The whole point is to have a peaceful transition of power at that meeting. It's not to make it take longer, which is what extending that time frame would do. And I understand people don't have to exhaust their time, but people wanting to filibuster will. And it has been demonstrated in the past. And that's why there definitely has to be a limit. And I think this is an appropriate limit so that senators can be validated after the student body elected them fairly. They won their elections. They deserve to become, to have the role that they were elected to be in as soon as it was prescribed for that to be elected. The validation of results is very clear about when it's supposed to happen. This would just delay the validation of results as long as people could speak. And even if it's 30 minutes, that's far too long, because then 20 people becomes 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, we were elected in October, and didn't get put until like December. Like, that's a while.
Yes.
So I think that, like,
No, I know. I was validated last semester too, but like, that specific meeting was like the last week of December, so there were a lot of other things. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I personally disagree with limiting it to 15. I mean, I think 15 minutes is too short. But.
I think that our job as a Senate and as a student government is to do what our constituents like to represent our constituents, and they elected these officials. And if like our job isn't to give goodbye speeches, it's so that stuff like actually gets passed, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like we actually work for our constituents. So anybody can like technically like give a goodbye speech like on social media if they wanted to, you know. If they have like stuff to say, they can say it. But why does it have to be in Senate?
But we're not
Like,
saying
for
what
that
they
long,
have to say,
you
but
know?
I mean, to keep it concise.
Mm-hmm.
is-
Yeah.
All right. Is there any more debate?
Like, I personally don't think I've ever given a speech that's even close to 15 minutes.
All right. Seeing as there are no more debate, we are now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege. I think I covered everything. I waived the rest of my time. We're now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to pass SSB 2024-1228 by unanimous consent.
I object.
I would make that by roll call vote.
There's been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1228 by roll call vote. May the clerk please take roll.
Brian,
Yes.
Henley,
Yes.
Badine,
Yes.
Inswasti,
No.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rubai,
Seeing as my vote will not affect the outcome, I abstain from this vote.
1-1.
In a vote of 4 to 1 to 1, SSB 2024-1228 passes. We are now in line for the consideration of, I'd like to point out that I withdrew SSB 2024-1229, so that is no longer part of the doc we are considering today. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1230, a resolution reaffirming Turlington Plaza as a place for protected free speech by Senator Hunter Monson. You have 5 minutes for presentation whenever you begin.
Awesome. So basically, this was written in response to the attack against the silent protester. However, this also was written in response to the fact that there have been countless instances of people limiting free speech across campus, whether that be at Plaza, whether that be disruptions, but also the fact that what free speech entails on campus, as long as it's not disruptive of the business or the expression of others on campus, they're allowed to speak anywhere on campus. Any outdoor area is designated a free speech place on campus, believe it or not. If you're outdoor, you can say anything you want, anywhere you want, as long as it's not hate speech or disruptive. So this is basically just like making sure that this is known, that people can like genuinely say whatever they want. They can do symbolic speech as long as it's not disruptive to the business or expression of others. And this is like, in this I include a lot of instances that happened within the past year, one of which I do need to correct a little bit. I don't know if you caught up on it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So there's a very small amendment I would like to make to it. I'll also hear what the chair also has to say too in regard to it during debate. But otherwise, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. This is just being like, hey, we can talk in Plaza, we can talk in Turlington. That's it. I wait the rest of my time.
All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of question and answer. All right, so I have some questions. Okay, in the whereas clause that begins on October 24th, 2023. So that's the last clause on the first page.
Yes.
How does that connect to the clause immediately above it?
So, and it's kind of connecting to the general idea of SJP being on campus. SJP has been attacked by the state, and essentially SJP has tabled in Turlington before, and they have every right to. But the state is basically trying to say, Chancellor Ray Wilson, Ray Rodriguez rather, which you see in this and the subsequent whereas clauses, they are trying to limit this. They're trying to limit this organization. I'm just basically giving insight to this ongoing case that is taking place in the heart of campus with UF students, UFSG-SPAN, etc. So like, in the event that they are silenced in Tillington, they have every right to be there. It's basically just saying like, this is the state's attack against someone trying to promote free speech of an issue that has now been physically assaulted and physically attacked regarding a similar issue. So it's just basically highlighting a state issue on that as well.
All right, one more question. Actually, two more questions.
Cool.
The whereas clause that talks about the Chomp hate campaign.
Yes.
I believe it's the other way around.
It is the other way around.
Okay, so would you be? I'm going to say it now, so it like we kind of have it on the record for later.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you amenable to the committee's altering of that whereas clause to state that the University of Florida created the Chomp hate campaign after anti-Semitic comments
As a response.
to
Yeah,
but
that's perfect.
anti-Semitic comments and graffiti.
Yes, that's perfect.
I don't know if we have to include a place. I guess that would be
I mean, you can. It's in Plaza. It happened in Plaza.
and
it
in
doesn't matter.
Jacksonville as well.
Yeah. It
Okay.
happened at the.
Okay. Are you amenable to adding both of all that?
Of course.
Okay. Cool. All right. And lastly, my last question is about the first therefore to be resolved clause.
Of course.
Basically, I think it's a bit unclear, particularly what the definition of suppression means, because I know that's currently being debated.
It is a current debate.
So I'm not sure we can say that it's a clear violation. Yeah, that's not
We
actually.
have a better word.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure.
I'm trying to read the original opinion.
Yeah.
But it was really confusing, honestly.
The first thing will be resolved.
Yeah. Because do you agree that possibly suppression is not the best word to include as a clear violation because the word suppression is kind of up for debate?
Based on the court case I included, it does regard suppression, but however, I'm fine if we want to use an alternative, because essentially the word suppression does not make or break this bill. So if you can find any alternative, or
Okay.
diminishing could work if you really want.
Would you be amenable if we changed that to striking the Healy v. James because it would no longer be relating to?
It's fine, go for it.
Okay, and would you be amenable to including limitation of speech in Turlington
Or just on campus, just say
on campus,
In Turlington
just so
on
it
campus,
reflects the
Yeah.
intent of the bill?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
That's perfect. We can do that.
cool. That is all of my questions. Does anyone else have any questions? All right, seeing none, we are now moving into 5 minutes of debate, starting now.
I mean, I like this bill. I think that was a good catch with the suppression thing. But like Hunter said, it doesn't kill the bill. So I think with that amendment, we should just pass it.
All right, is there any more debate? Seeing none, we are now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege.
Oh, I waive. I waive it.
Oh, you wave? Okay. We are now in line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions at this time? Okay, I'm going to start. Okay. This is... Okay. I'm going to essentially point of information to you. Are you amenable, if we're striking Healy v. James in that clause, to strike the other whereas clause about Healy v. James?
Sure.
Okay. I move to amend SSB 2024-1230 to strike the whereas clause that states whereas in Healy v. James by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. All right, I now move to amend SSB 2024-1230 so that I was going to do the let it be resolved. Yeah, amend so that the first therefore let it be resolved clause states that the University of Florida Student Senate recognizes that, what's a good word here? That's still up for debate.
Denial.
That the protection of students' speech on campus is included in students' First Amendment rights by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are we now in line for any more motions at this time?
Ready, Roger?
Is there a motion at this time? All right. Okay. Yeah. Senator Monson, really quickly. So I wanted to let you know before I make this motion that I do think that this whereas clause with October 24th, 2023, I think that alone fits with the First Amendment rights of organizations rather than the First Amendment rights on campus, which is a distinction that I think should be kept separate for future bills.
I mean, it's just pertaining, because you can, as an organization, you can speak in towing to.
I understand. I mean, there's even a comment on here that says I don't understand the connection here. It's just...
To be fair, I just wrote any show.
Just that one. Earlier...
I just
yeah.
wanted to make it as fair, because I didn't want to, exclude such an important event that did occur on campus. That's the only reason why, I wrote about it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think that should be a separate...
we can get rid
yeah.
of it if you really want.
Okay.
It was one of those things I just wanted out of fairness to include
Yeah.
a significant event to happen.
Understandable. And I think that in the future, a bill should be written with that as its primary intent.
Sounds great.
Okay, I move to amend SSB 2024-12330 to strike the whereas clause that begins with on October 24th, 2023, State University System, by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to amend SSB 2024-1230 to add Minority Party Nathaniel Pelton, myself, and anyone else, Senator Rajmia, to the sponsors line.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Okay, there's been a...
Just me and Pelton, though.
Got it. There has been a motion to add...
By unanimous consent.
Yeah. Are there any objections? Actually, there's been a motion to amend the sponsors line of SSB 2024-1230 to add the aforementioned names to the sponsors line by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
Move to pass SSB 2024-1230 by unanimous consent.
All right. There has been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1230 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that this resolution passes. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Okay, we are now in line for SSB 2024-1231. Behavioral awareness. You want me to read the whole?
Just say balance.
Balance, Volume 1, Disordered Eating and Eating Disorders by Senator Hunter Monson. You have 5 minutes for presentation whenever you begin.
As you see, this is a very long bill. This is a bill that has a lot of research. It has 24 studies. All of them are basically studies or things here at UF that are psychiatric treatments at UF or disparities that I've recognized throughout US, etc. And there's only one thing I would like to add that I actually was kind of looking at myself. I was like, why did I forget it? But fun fact all is National Eating Disorder Week. I'm not sure if you know, but it is. And that's one thing that I would like to add as therefore let be resolved. The University of Student Senate, blah, blah, blah. Recognizes that this week, basically, the set days, you can look it easily, is National Eating Disorder Week. That's the only thing I would like to change about it. Otherwise, I feel like no one should have any issue about it. It's a very serious issue. That's why I started with it out of Volume 1, because I feel like it's something that plagues a lot of our youth, and it's something that isn't the stigma behind it, especially within Asian families, is a lot. Because in Asian families, they usually tell you, just eat more, or you're too fat. One of the two. It's either eat more or you're too fat. No in between. So, just researching about the current disparities regarding treatment, regarding about how prevalent it is very insightful. So if you have not looked through it fully, I do recommend it because it's something I would not have taken the time of if I did not care about it. So otherwise, I live the rest of my time.
All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A beginning now.
Where would you like the amendment for the new therefore resolved?
Somewhere in the further be resolved. I'm not really picky about where it be. I feel like everything flows fine at the moment. So.
All right. Are there any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate. All right. Starting now.
I think I love this because this is something that's very I'm passionate about as well, Hunter. So I appreciate all of the research that we've done on this.
Well, thank you. I'm not supposed to talk.
All right. Is there any more debate? Okay. Seeing none, we are now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege. Beginning whenever you're ready.
I want to thank Senator Prieto or Judicial Prieto for the kind remarks. I'm glad it means a lot to you because if it didn't, I wouldn't be trying to write about it because I think it's something that I talked about this with Judiciary Chair or Wanda, literally the other day. I was I hope everyone finds these important. I was I feel it's pretty. It's called a genuine and national concern. It is a national concern of the CDC. So I feel greater awareness, which is necessary, as well as just actual preventative measures, will be helpful for students here at the university. And there's definitely so many byproducts that come from this regarding mental health, regarding physical health, regarding just general productivity. So yeah, I'll leave the rest of my time. Thank you. I hope that amendment also gets there.
Alrighty. We're now in line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions?
Motion to amend, or to include, therefore let it further be resolved, to recognizes February 26th through March 3rd.
Do we do it?
I point of information. Can
Yes.
I this to would you like to include the year or just for
It's-
every?
It's the same week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
Is it the fourth week of February, or is it defined by the
We can look at
dates?
I was feel free to Google it, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's just it is that week. You know what I'm saying? The week that leads into the last week of February leading into the first.
The last week of February?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but also feel free to correct me.
It was the 26th to the 3rd. So
Okay, yeah. I was
I assume it's the last.
It depends on the leap year, obviously.
Yeah, let me look at the calendar really quick.
The last week of February.
Yeah.
It says it starts on the 26th,
Yeah, so that'd be the final week of February.
starting on a Monday. Okay. Interesting.
So it's the final week of February.
Yeah, cool.
For the record, you wanted to say the university.
I can relink it. if
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Can you rescind your motion then?
I rescind my motion. I move to include a therefore let it further be resolved statement. This University of Florida Student Senate recognizes the last week of February and beginning week of March as National Eating or Disorders Awareness Week by unanimous consent.
Okay. Does that wording work for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
For the record, do you want the dates or you
We
want
can-
to say?
Yeah, we can submit the amendment
Yeah, it's we can
to
do
my
it.
email,
Yeah.
and then I can add it. So
we can make it we can make
Yeah,
it
more
policy.
can you rescind your motion?
Yeah, I rescind my motion.
Okay, I move to amend SSB 2024-1231 to include the amendment to add the therefore let it be resolved clause that will be submitted to me by Senator Hunter Monson or any member of the Judiciary Committee by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to strike Gainesville Mayor Harvey Ward from the proviso by unanimous consent.
All right, there has been a motion to strike the name Gainesville Mayor Harvey Ward from the proviso by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1231 by unanimous consent.
All right, there has been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1231 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this resolution passes. Good stuff. All right. I do want to enter into the record that Senator Monson did a ton of work for all of these. There were supposed to be 10, I believe, 10 separate resolutions under the Balance Act. And I'm hopeful that they'll be resubmitted in the next cycle so that we can hear them, because I really like all of what you've been doing. And I just want that to be on the record. All right, we are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1232, Balance Volume 9, Microaggressions. We're now in line for 5 minutes of presentation from Senator Monson, beginning whenever you are ready.
Yeah, as we see, we jumped from 1 to 9. That's a pretty sorry. This deals with quite literally every microaggression you can really go for it, whether that's ethnicity, age, gender, sexual identity, sexual orientation, having a disability or not. Like, it's quite literally details almost every single thing you can have, like, I guess, directed towards you. I have asked for a lot of a specialist on this issue. I have, like, consulted a lot of people that, like, know a lot about this. I, as my white, cis, straight man self, I kind of just see it rather than I experience it. It's like, I might have, like, varied ethnicity, I might have Asian ethnicity, but no one will ever be like, you're Asian to me. So therefore, like, I won't ever experience these, and I'm always, like, I guess appreciative of that in my fact, but also I very much feel for those that do experience these things. And I've witnessed it firsthand. My friend groups growing up, I was, like, usually, like, one of the only, if not the only white person in those friend groups. So I saw racial profiling constantly. I saw just remarks that people, like, would brush off. I saw people that would ask if they could touch my friend's hair that had afros. And my friends, being unsure of how to respond, they would always say yes, but I know it always made them feel a type of way that they didn't like, that was demeaning of sorts. And also, one time going to a job interview, I remember that they told this person that had, they had very poofy hair. And they're like, that's not professional, you have to get out. And I remember seeing that and was just astounded. So, like, these things that, like, I've seen are, like, the reasons why I include all this and all this data. Unfortunately, there's Mayor Harvey Ward. I believe in this one too, so you might have to strike that one that came in.
I don't believe so, actually.
Really?
I'm reading through it. I don't see that.
I'm happy I corrected myself. Anyways, carrying on. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but I feel like this is a very real thing that college students do experience as, and one of my I think it's like the fourth to last whereas clause. Let me count actually. 1, 2, 3. The third to last, 98.8% report one or experiencing one. So it's a very prevalent issue. So that's one thing I felt like regarding mental health I have to write about. It's one thing that I am privy to write about as a representative of such a diverse college class. Yeah, I would waste my time.
Awesome. We're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. For the last, let it be finally resolved. It says, like, advocates for greater measures to be implemented. I'm just, like, curious, like, what does that mean? Like, what are you thinking?
It's just kind of like a blanket statement because as a resolution, I can't really tell you to do a certain measure,
Right.
which is why I don't want that to be like an explicit thing. So if I told them to do something explicit, that'd be kind of like mandating action.
Mm-hmm.
So these greater measures, I hope someone can like write an authorization based on like this further. You'll not to like necessarily expose myself for ghostwriting, but you're gonna see a ghostwritten bill by me in a couple weeks probably, about diversity training that I hope to be implemented here in the Senate, because that's something that happens at FSU and UCF for their government officials that we don't do here, which I would love for us to do. Like a lot of them have an 8-week program. Some of them have one held by the Senate President. That's one thing UCF does. I would love for that to be a thing here, so that's like might be a measure per se, but I don't want to necessarily say that in this. There's more so of a, hey, this is a recognized issue by our Senate. This is what I do for a lot of my resolutions. I like have an issue, and then I then show this is passing unanimously, then I advocate for more. So that's something I do. But hopefully, real measures that are explicit totally won't be read by me.
Looking forward to seeing them. All right, any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate. I'm going to say one thing really quickly. Again, very impressive work. Like, I checked every single source for all of these, as I always do, and very, very, like, well-written resolutions. Like, absolutely. So I just want to, like, say how impressive this is to people who don't know. Like, these are all written very well. I think this should pass as well. And that's what I have to say. Is there any more debate?
No, I agree with you. This is a really well-written bill, and yeah, I think it should pass.
Alrighty.
It's fine. It happens.
Oh,
You just asked me about like why only 3 or 10. I was like, it just was a zip file issue. It is what it is.
yeah. I tried. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did try, but,
Yeah. Okay. So seeing no more debate, we're now in line for 2 minutes of final privilege, starting whenever you are ready.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind remarks because let's just say a lot of these were written on an all-nighter that I just sat there. People, actually, one of your caucus members, Gabe Vargas, he saw me writing bills. Like, he's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I have to finish up because these are my last ones I'll submit." So he's like, "Bro, it's a Friday night. Go home." Or it was like last Friday. He was like, "Go home." I was like, "No." So hey, I do appreciate the kind remarks because I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of things that I could have been doing otherwise instead of this, and I just thought this mattered more, and here we are. And thank you for kind remarks, and I hope it passes. I wait for the rest of the time.
All right. We're now in line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions?
I motion to pass SSB 2024-1232 by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1232 by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that resolution passes. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1233, Balance Volume 10. All right, we are now in line for 5 minutes of presentation by the author whenever you are ready.
Oh my gosh, this is like my magnum opus. This is like the one I've been waiting on. As you see, this is 10 pages. It is a very, very lengthy bill. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I've ever seen more therefore let it be resolved clauses ever in a bill.
No, this is the record.
And all of them do have substance, believe it or not, if you do want to look through. But I do deeply care about this. Like, I ran on this point this semester. I obviously did not win, but you know, that's a different issue. But regarding the CWC satellite offices, that's something that I've talked about with the CWC as a mental health ad hoc. I was like, I think Marian's been there and like could understand that. We have talked about this. I've previously reached out to them. I've reached out to the rights board. They seem open to having one in the rights. It just has to be figured out where and when and who to hire. Like I said, this is a resolution. It's not actually mandating anything. It's just providing tons and tons of data on what already exists. And there's, if anything, it's even more of an important issue now. After 2 days ago, that the DI being removed, that was a whole portion of the CWC. Like, there was there's specialty treatment for those that like sought it out. And I think that'll be a more important issue now than ever. A lot of this is just tons of data, concluding off what all 10 bills were going to be. Obviously, y'all only seen 2 so far, but I'm more than happy to share the rest of them with y'all if you are intrigued. But yeah, otherwise, I feel like it's just a bunch of data at the end of the day. Like, it really is a bunch of data and conclusions and analysis. It's like, that's how I work, that's how I'm wired. I waive the rest of my time.
All right. We're now in line for 5 minutes of question and answer, beginning now. I have a really unfortunate question that I have to ask.
What?
Are you amenable to removing any mention, all of the clauses that include mentions to the bills that were not included? Because they don't really exist yet. I don't know what to do about
I don't really
them.
do that much about them, to be honest. Like, in this one, I really did not.
There are 2 instances that I saw.
Yeah. I'd obviously prefer not because they are kind of like key info to like the development of a satellite office. But like, if it says the word like the bill, which I don't know exactly what you're referencing.
So, okay, to clarify, therefore let it be further resolved, lack of resources regarding domestic violence, outlined in Balance Volume 6.
I think you could just strike the word outline them.
Yeah, so I was going to strike...
If it says the word, like, if it references a certain bill, just strike that.
Yeah, so I would strike as outlined in Balance Volume 6, because then it would read, needs to be done effective immediately and should be a provision added to the proposed CWC's satellite office expansion. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Cool. That also occurs in one more instance that I'm going to ask you the same question for, but I just wanted to... Okay, this one's a little bit more complicated. It's the... I can't even count the therefore. Therefore, let it be further be resolved that the University of Florida Student Senate comprehensively understands the multifaceted factors that cause severe impacts towards mental wellness for students, faculty, and staff, outlined in Balance Volumes 1 through 9.
Just you could get rid of outline and Balance Volumes 1 through 9.
That's so... I'm so sorry.
This is... We've done 1 and 9 so far. This is 10, so...
Well, technically 1 through 9 still works.
1 through... But it's
Oh.
1 through 9, not 1 and 9.
Well,
So it should work.
technically it is through. I'm okay leaving that, or say, I think that actually is okay. If anyone else doesn't think it's okay, I think that's really funny. And
I've gone through.
I'm okay. Okay, yeah, that works. Cool. Is there any? Are there any mentions to other sections of balance within the whereas clauses, or?
I don't do any in the whereas clauses.
Okay, cool. Yep, I just searched it. Perfect. Are there any more questions? All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate. Is there any debate?
I mean, I just want to say, Hunter, this is incredible. Like, this is really amazing. Like, I see the work that you put into it, and it's really important. So I appreciate you writing this, truly.
Yeah, we're missing 70%, and this is still, I think, the longest resolution packet ever submitted. So, all right.
One of them was like 12 pages.
I'm going to keep it running for a second.
This one was 10 pages.
Is there I don't know if anyone knows, I'm actually kind of curious. Is there a 24-hour requirement for bills to be submitted to another committee?
No.
Send the email to RNA. Send an email right now to RNA and say, I want these to be considered.
Okay, maybe. I was like, I know it worked.
I don't know if they will, but it's just,
Yeah.
if they're just
Can
simple
I call a
resolutions.
recess? Yeah. Is there a motion at this time for 5 minutes, for example? No, that's a good point.
I motion to recess for 5 minutes. By unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to recess for 5 minutes by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right, I'll see you guys back here at 3:25 p.m. on March 3rd, 2024. I believe we are now in line for final privilege.
Should we do debate?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 minutes starting whenever you are ready.
Yeah, well, it's the biggest one. It's the last one. This is the one that took the most initial thought on how to go about it. So here we are. I appreciate it, and that passes. That's simple. I waive.
Okay, I'm going to point out information to you really quickly just about the proviso.
Correct.
Is there a particular reason that specific Alachua County Board of Commissioners are selected instead of the entire commission?
I think it was based on like the region.
Okay.
I don't
I
remember.
believe their jurisdiction ends when it comes to this stuff. So
Yeah,
would
I
you
was
be
like, we
amenable
need
to
to
striking
keep that.
those?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. So we're in line for some motions. I move to strike Alachua County Board of Commissioners in the proviso. Alachua County Board of Commissioners through the end of the proviso, which just gets rid of the Mary Alford, Charles Chestnut IV, and Mayor Harvey Ward by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? All right, seeing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to amend SSB 2024-1233 to add myself and anyone in the room who wants to be on the sponsors line. So
All right.
Aaron, Raj, everyone on Judiciary.
Is it, just to clarify, does everyone on Judiciary wish to sponsor this resolution? If not, it's fine. I just want to know so it's accurate. Like, okay. There is a motion to amend SSB 2024-1233 to include the following names on the sponsors line: every member of the Judiciary Committee, plus Senator Raj Mia. By unanimous consent, are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Are there any more motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1233 by unanimous consent.
All right, there has been a motion to pass SSB 2024-1233 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this resolution passes. Okay. Are there any motions at this time?
Point of information.
Yes.
So what exactly is the procedure for vetoed bills? Could we technically look at them now?
So we can technically pick up anything that we have postponed right now if we'd like to.
Okay.
The procedure for vetoed bills is they have to be sent back to Judiciary Committee once they are vetoed. We review the criteria on which they were vetoed. There's more stuff to consider. And then we give another ruling on them. If we fail, if we pass the veto in committee, then we can agree that the veto is correct on the floor, which means the bill doesn't go into law or the resolution is not passed. If we fail it in committee, it means the veto was not correct. And so am I correct in saying that? I think if we fail the veto, it goes into law. No, it has to go to the floor.
Yeah, it goes to the floor if we overturn it.
Yeah, so, I mean, the ultimate is like a floor vote, and committee are reviewing it as if it was another bill submitted. So if you guys pass it in committee, it goes back to floor. If you fail in committee.
But are we passing it as a bill or as the veto?
As the vetoed bill. So like if you guys amended it, it would eventually go back to second readings on the floor.
Okay. So yeah, it's a bit complicated.
Okay.
It will remain on the dock though for the next judiciary meeting. Like those two bills are the only two that will not be procedurally withdrawn according to Rule 14.
And could you tell me which ones those are?
That is SSB 2024 1001
Mm-hmm.
and 1025, which is the Sinclair Act, I believe.
Okay.
I can double check that. Yeah. 1001 and 1025 are the two that were vetoed.
Okay. And so if we theoretically pass it and put it on the floor, what would be decided on the floor is whether the veto is accepted or not?
Yeah, so we could either overturn the veto and put it into law anyway,
Okay.
or agree with the veto and then it would not go into law.
Okay.
So like this is yet to be, so we have to, bills have to be signed by the president for them to go into law. So what happened here is instead of signing it, the student body president vetoed it and sent it back. So it's not law right now. If we overturn it under third readings, then it would go into law. If we choose not to overturn it, then it would just die. The bill doesn't get signed, so it never goes into law in the first place.
Gotcha.
Is that correct?
Yeah. If it
Yeah.
dies,
It's not law. Yeah, okay.
Is it possible that we can like talk about the Sinclair Act in committee today?
Yeah, actually, sure.
Because I was emailing Olivia.
I would like to have this meeting adjourn around 3:45 so we can amend bills before I submit them to RNA.
Okay.
But yeah, would you like to go over Sinclair Act or Censor Publications Act?
Sinclair Act is.
Alrighty.
Right.
So is there a motion at this time?
I move to consider SSB 2024-1025, the Sinclair Act.
All
By
right.
unanimous consent.
There's a motion to consider SSB 2023 is what's written here. I'm going to change that now, just so you know.
Also, in the one that you put in the drive, the fourth clause was removed in the bill that was sent to Olivia Greens, and the SG website doesn't have that version.
I know, that's why I put this one back in. Okay. All right, let me open my email. Okay.
It's just the last clause that was in the one drive.
Oh,
It's just not
actually,
correct.
something. We didn't do something. Can Senator Pelton, Minority Party Leader Pelton, come back in here?
I can it's back up there.
Nathaniel.
He's going to Swamp Cottage. That's what he's doing.
So, so we skipped over. Actually, it's because I withdrew it. It doesn't matter, but actually, I don't know if it does or not. There were, I believe, I can ask you this question. Okay, I'm making sure the amendments that were included to 1229 do not have to be considered because the bill was withdrawn.
So it's just
Cool. Just wanted to double check and make sure. Yeah, sounds good. Alrighty. Because, yeah. I do have to say that's one of the funnier things I've seen in Senate.
You have to understand where I'm coming from.
I understand.
And it's like,
it is.
I'm out, like my SG career is over, like it's my last stand, guys. You have to understand.
Okay, let me find this email that I received.
I have the email from Olivia Green.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
From what? Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, it's open right now.
Mhm.
I'm going to be off and shit.
Can I just look up veto?
I can just like read you the email that I was sent.
Yeah.
So it was like, good afternoon, this is the explanation I provided for Senate President Brinkman. I'm required by the codes to give a short explanation when vetoing, and this is what I did.
Okay, yeah, could you read that out loud?
Yeah, quote, 1, Student Senate Bill 2024-1025, the Sinclair Act 300 Codes Revision. A, the bill does not clarify that process and leaves room for issue, especially approaching summer, period. Best, Olivia Green. Yeah, so that was the only reason I was given.
From
Fun.
I'll let you go off there.
Yeah, and I followed up saying, okay, but can you elaborate on what that means, what process, what's the specific issue? I would like to correct any issues if there is any. Only thing I can think of is like nothing, honestly, because I'm fairly blatant in what I'm referencing. Like in the second clause, 325.01, I say, quote, see section 323.41 and section 324.410. So like there's 3 clauses in this bill. One of them's an intent clause. Then there's 2 actual clauses that do stuff. The first one references the specific scenarios in which this will apply to. The second one is like, okay, following the adjudication process, it's determined that the vacancy is overturned and respective parties reinstate it. It just says that they're going to be reinstated, just as it's referenced elsewhere in the 300 code. So like, I'm really lost in what she's trying to say.
All right. I'm just gonna ask you
Yeah.
a question really quick. So I have access to edit the document, and this will be the bill that will be submitted back to the floor.
Okay.
So 325.03 was stricken, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to strike that right now. Just want to make that abundantly clear. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. I guess we're in line for question and answer. Are there any questions at this time? I'm gonna just say stuff in debate because, okay, like I know. Okay, we're gonna move in line for 5 minutes of debate beginning now. Okay, so I know I'm technically not supposed to be debating as much as I have been today, and that won't occur again in the past. It is partly because I authored some of the legislation. As for this, I would really like to hear more about what the problem is with this before we decide anything on it, because I'm also very confused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what process it's referring to, because the process is a process that's outlined in the codes.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the process is a vacancy replacement, in which way that's referred to in the rules and procedures, I think. So anyway, I think we should hear more about this before deciding what to do, because I'm not exactly sure what we could do in addition to what we'd already discussed the last time we heard this bill. So I get why we should consider this, but like also I kind of think it should be tabled or postponed until and I recommend postponing it indefinitely, because that does carry over, I believe, versus if we tabled it, it would have to be picked up at the next meeting.
Okay.
So
it would be, because it's a veto though, it would still.
because it
carry
rolls over, so the same principles apply, that if you table it and don't pick it up, it's procedurally withdrawn, which means, I don't know what that means if a veto is procedurally withdrawn. Nothing good.
Okay, I mean, when it comes to the veto over the summer, I mean, same thing, the procedurally withdrawn should happen, but RNA decided that vetoed bills should stay over and be kind of exempt from that because they're vetoed, and we should have the opportunity in the Senate to overturn it.
Yes.
So if that precedent stands, and here we should be able to hear this after Tuesday if you didn't come up with a definition, if we didn't decide today, that's honestly up to discretion of the next Senate leadership. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you're saying. I agree. That is like a huge check on the veto power. So I think we should, I don't want to know what happens to this if it's procedurally withdrawn in any form. So I think we should postpone it indefinitely so that it doesn't vanish. I mean, there's a possibility of it still vanishing, but I really hope it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just want an actual reasoning at a minimum.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can give you one.
And I'm not, I'm genuinely not too sure, because I've been emailing Olivia nonstop, nearly every day. I've been sending a follow-up saying, what did you mean by this? She only emailed me today back, just saying the same thing she sent Brinkman, and I was like, well, thanks, can you just elaborate? And she didn't respond to that. So my feeling is that we might not actually get an answer from her that is more than the sentence that I read out. So there's that position of
I think if we're still in debate, which I think we are,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. It's fine. I let you speak. At least a couple of weeks to just see if there's anything more that we're missing, because we could be. But after a couple of weeks, at that point in time, we pass it through committee and hear it on the floor. That's my opinion of what should happen with this. Has nothing to do with what I actually think about the bill. The bill passed for a reason in the first place. So I don't think there's any questions of constitutionality, legality, implication, or format. It just apparently is clarity, which I don't know. I think there should be time for us to hear back more about what particularly is wrong with this bill.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, we are now, is there any more debate?
So just a question, if she doesn't, or she does provide a response or an explanation and we don't agree with it because it does hit all the other criterias, we would then pass to
So, okay.
overthrow that veto.
I'm slightly confused about why Judiciary Committee is involved with this at
so
all.
it's really meant to like do an amendment thing. So if veto bill
Okay.
comes back, and it's like, oh, this is like blatantly illegal. I don't know why you passed in the first place.
Okay.
You guys can make that edit. and
Yeah.
send it back.
Okay.
If,
So then
yeah.
in that case, I think it makes sense we get a clear explanation
Yeah.
of what it is that's wrong.
Because then it would go to second reading and it would be heard again, it would be signed again or vetoed again.
Or if like they give a reason, it's like this isn't an actual reason. You guys will like, all right, just send it back to the floor and override it.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, I think, yep.
I
So we're
just
in line
wanted to
for,
talk about it a little bit.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the other one while we're here?
The censure one, like
Yeah.
I honestly
Wait, let me
haven't
wrap this up really quick.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're in line for 2 minutes of final privilege.
honestly, I'll just talk briefly about the censure one in like 2 minutes because I don't think we should go into
Okay.
consideration. I didn't really get a reason about the other one. I only asked about 1025 because I checked the codes and I was like, this hasn't been enacted and it's been a month. So I was like, hey Jackie, hey John, you guys update me, and then they said, oh, it's been vetoed. If y'all can reach out to Olivia, please do about these bills because I've barely gotten much of a response. None of these seem to be controversial. I don't think. Yeah.
Okay, now this is kind of interesting. Sorry, off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
But because we're validating election results, the veto power goes away and goes to the newly elected president.
No, validation. John won't take office until the last day of spring classes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that wasn't... Okay, so validation is just for senators. Okay, got it.
So like
Makes sense.
in that time frame, they would be like president-elect and stuff.
Yeah.
Forming their cabinet.
So we've got a little bit of time to figure this out.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Okay, is there any more... Still final privilege, so...
Yeah. I just hope these bills don't die in the ether because again, I think these both were passed unanimously. So that's all. I yield.
Okay. We're now in line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions?
I move to postpone SSB 2024-1025 indefinitely by unanimous consent.
All right, there's been a motion to postpone indefinitely SSB 2024-1025, the Sinclair Act, by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. All right. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to adjourn the meeting until
Just don't.
adjourn by unanimous consent.
Please don't set a time to adjourn. Okay. All right, there's been a motion to adjourn this judiciary meeting by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. This meeting is adjourned at 3:41 p.m. on March 3rd, 2024. Good meeting, everyone. Good semester. I'm excited for the next one. And there is a